Hello, it's me, just another sim guy, and welcome back. And wow, what a week it's been. I've had podium fights at Imola, carnage at Sebring, an 80-point disconnect heartbreak in my iRating, and I found time to take part in the Rainmaster event at Suzuka, which was an absolute blast. So grab a brew, sit back, and let's get into the details. So, it's me, your friendly neighbourhood old sim racer strapped into VR with the motion rig, trying to keep the wheels pointing vaguely in the right direction. This week in my iRacing had a bit of everything. There's some drama, some silly mistakes, some bumper to bumper action, and one of the best wet weather experiences I've ever had on the sim. I spent most of my week racing the Spec Racer Ford at Imola. I jumped into the TCR series at Sebring, which was absolutely incredible. I had one race completely disconnect and nuked my iRating by like 80. Absolutely not my fault. That was a real kick. But I did also find time to do the Rainmaster event at Suzuka. I was in the Mustang GT3 and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It just makes you concentrate for so long. It was a thoroughly enjoyable experience, and I think the graphics look amazing with the rain and the feeling of the wheel. I mean, I couldn't get enough of it. It was absolutely amazing. So I'm going to give you a rundown of all of that, and you'll see in the background that there's going to be some close racing and some highlights from all of these races. Don't forget that some of these were live streamed, so if you want to watch them in their entirety and really get a feel for the nights that we create, do check out the live stream playlist and make sure you get involved with those in the future. So let's start with Imola. I don't know what it is about the Spec Racer Ford, but when paired with a track like Imola, it was just a perfect combination of close racing with a little bit of chaos, I might add. Hands down, I had one of the best races I've had in ages at Imola this week. A proper back and forth fight where I swapped the lead, I had P1 for a bit, I made a little bit of a mistake, and then I got caught in a scrap for third and fourth place. It was a type of race where you're smiling under the VR headset, even while your motion rig is yeeting you around. You know, it was just like, it was one of those races. I managed to hold the guy off and finished in third place. Now that one was live streamed, so do make sure you have a look and check that one out. That was on the 17th of November, that race, and it was the second race of the night. Of course, because this is iRacing, it's never all going to be perfect. I had one race where the sim and my headset froze. Don't know what happened. Don't know if it was a hardware issue, iRating issue, but full disconnect. So I finished basically in last place. I was only about a quarter of the way around the race and lost about 80 something iRating. I did consider for a minute that it wasn't going to be my day, but I picked it up and carried on and managed to make some gains after that. And then there was my first race at Sebring this week in the TCRs. I was basically turned into a pinball for the majority of the first lap. Just incident point after incident point of people just crashing into me. Then I ended up getting spun, hitting the barrier. Then it was my own fault because I didn't want to get towed. I tried to get myself back to the pits, and on nearly every corner I managed to spin, so I was getting incident points for spinning. I was one incident point away from being disqualified with 15 or 16 minutes left in the race when I came out of the pits, and I had to do all of those laps without a single incident point, otherwise I'd have been disqualified. And I did it. I made it to the end, so there is that little silver lining, I guess. The Rainmaster event at Suzuka was absolutely amazing. I really enjoyed it. I was in the Mustang GT3, which sounds great, it feels great. If you haven't tried iRacing's rain yet, it's genuinely incredible. I really love the way the car moves, the puddles, the spray, the evolution of the track surface, and visually in VR, it's just at a completely different level. I had to concentrate so hard, I think I probably forgot to blink for the majority of the race. I was driving the Mustang GT3, it was properly soaked. It was just brilliant fun. There was some bumper to bumper action. I did a really nice overtake on the long straight leading down to the sort of sweeping fast left just before the chicane at the start finish line. That's going to be in the replay. Again, I streamed it. Check it out. That was at the beginning of the week. Absolutely fantastic fun. Do go and take a look at that. But in terms of my numbers and my ratings, I started the week on 1662, I think I peaked at. I ended the week on 1682. So whilst there was I don't know, 9 or 10 races I guess I did this week, and only gained like 20 iRating. It wasn't the 1700 that I was hoping for, but considering the disconnect, the pinballing, and the weather, you know, I'll take those pluses. And slow progress is better than no progress, I guess. Is that a saying? But yeah, I'll take it. So what's in store for us next week in the iRacing grind? I'd really like to get back into Formula. I dominated my week with the sports car series. This week I was really enjoying it. The tracks, the car combos, and the fact that I felt like I had really good pace. I felt like I had a really good flow around Imola in the Spec Ford, and that made me want to do more and more races because I could tell I was getting quicker with each race, and I wanted to get that consistency. It seems like such a shame. I know we always talk about this and we always have this conversation. It's that balance between trying out the different content, making the most of the content that you've purchased, the cars, the tracks, you know, having some variation, having some variety, and, you know, variety spicing things up a little bit. But if you really want to sort of get consistent, you have to repeat and practice. And because I was going for the iRating, and I felt like after sort of 1 or 2 races at Sebring that I was really improving and picking up the pace, I knew that it was like I knew there was time to be found, but I knew where I needed to find it, and that's a really good place to be in. It just, at that point, it seemed silly to jump out of that and into something else and start over. So I was a lot more strict with myself, and sort of, because I was enjoying it and because I was being competitive and because I was doing quite well, it made it really, really easy just to continue sort of more of the same. So yeah, that's really what I enjoyed, and that was why I didn't really get into the formulas. But this week I might do the same in the formulas. So my license didn't move this week, so I didn't do a single race in the open wheelers. But you know, especially in the race 1600, I want to see if I can push that iRating well, you know, even more towards the 2K and well into the 2K rating if I can. There'll be more wet weather racing available as well, so I might jump back into that. But next week we've got the Spec Racer Fords going to Road America, so that's a really good track and I love the car. We've got the GR86 is at Lime Rock. I may jump into that, I'm not quite sure. The TCR series is at Zandvoort. The Formula Rays are at Sonoma, not my favourite track. But in the open wheelers, the Formula V, which is a fun little car, is in a series at Alton Park and also in a series at Road America. So that is pretty tempting. And the other one that I might want to give a try, if I can find the time, is the Global Series, which I race in the Kia Optima in that one. That's going to Mount Panorama, Bathurst. So again, I love that car. Don't drive it very often. I don't have all the content for the series, but I do like jumping into it every now and again. And Mount Panorama is an absolutely fantastic beast of a track. So that car and track combination could well be fun and could be good for a live stream. So if you want to see that in the live stream, let me know in the comments. We'll be live streaming again on Thursday evening, and I could well sort of put my focus into that series for part of that stream. So don't forget all the ones that we've talked about that I did last week, and the ones that are in the replays covering in the background that you can see. A lot of them were done live streamed. So whilst some of them weren't, and I will be doing separate videos on some of the closer ones and some sort of cinematic stories, and some of the close racing will be sort of expanded upon, so you get an idea of the whole race. A lot of them were streamed live, so you can check them out. Some of the battles at Imola, some of the carnage at Sebring, the race event in the wet at Suzuka, they were all done live on stream, and you can see them over the last couple of streams, sort of for the first and second week of November. So they'll be there. But really appreciate you sticking around and listening to my sort of updates for the week. If you enjoy honest sim racing content from someone who's been doing this for a little while, especially in VR with a motion rig wobbling away, just hit subscribe and join us for more. It would be great to have you. Make sure you check us out on Discord, join the group, join the communications. There's some really, really good guys. Then we started to build up a really, really nice community. And don't forget to drop your own iRacing highs and lows in the comments. You know, I'd love to see what you've been doing over the last couple of weeks, how your rankings are going, and hopefully we'll get to see you on the track soon. So I have been just another sim guy. It's been great. If you've made it to the end, let us know in the comments and let us know what you think, and keep your eyes out for more great content coming your way. We'll see you guys in the next one if we don't see you on track soon. Take care. Bye bye.